I just wanna make you mine.
Hey guys, Omar here, broker and CEO of Alden Mortgage and Ome Realty. So who's buying up most of the real estate? Well, there's a few little caveats to this, but let's go ahead and go on with the millennials. Millennials right now are killing it. Millennials, by all means, millennials, congratulations. You guys are doing awesome. Highest paid salaries all across the board. Without a doubt, some of the best. Just proud of all my millennials that are out there that are just doing their thing. But let's go ahead and go dive deep into exactly what the percentages are, what's going on, and what is the downside to some of the purchases that millennials have made, which that is one of the main reasons why we make these videos, so you guys understand what financial products that are available to you whenever you're purchasing your home, to go ahead and not get sucked into this high fee world that you live in. So according to the 2022 Home Buyer and Seller Generation Trends Report from the National Association of Realtors, now from the ages of 23 to 41, they account for almost half of all real estate transactions that are made, which was up from 43%. It is now at 43%, which is up from a year earlier at 37%, which was up from a year earlier, which was at like 34%. So it is increasingly where millennials are purchasing a lot of they're purchasing most of the homes. Now on the other side of things, baby boomers, which obviously, I mean, baby boomers are the ones who, purchased a long time ago, and now they're trying to make their moves or whatever they are. They accounted for 42% of what the seller market, right? So the people who are actually selling homes were accounted to about 42%. Which now obviously that the baby boomers have accounted for a majority of it. The increased percentage of millennials that are selling their homes has increased by 4% to up to 26% over the past year. And that's in your older millennials from 32 to 41. Now, one of the biggest problems is debt became a big problem for many homeowners, and reports say that Gen X's are going to be between the ages of 42 to 56, and younger boomers were going to be those that are below 65 years old. They delayed a lot of their home purchases. Now, what was the biggest problem when delaying their home purchases? They were just like, you know what, we have way too much debt. We can't even get into it right now. And of course, the astronomical home prices that have been having that's been going on, that they just don't have enough money to put the skin in the game to go ahead and purchase their home. Now, even though that they have equity inside of their home for them to go ahead and sell, they also just stated that the average total debt that they had to go ahead and expunge to get out of it was $28,000. Now, in the same caveat to that, the majority of every single person who was purchasing, they went ahead and said that saving was probably the biggest difficulty when it came to purchasing a new home. Now, that's why we also make these videos, because they didn't know that, and this accounts for most of it. This is according to the National Association of Realtors and the Mortgage Bankers Association, that majority of them did not understand exactly the mortgage products that were available to them in order for them to get into a home at a cheaper rate, or sellers they were kicking back certain loan programs because they thought that they were less qualified to get than it is on the other end of it. Which in our business, now we are the soldiers on the ground. That's me. I go out and I do the lending myself. I'm the broker. I go out and I meet people firsthand. Even though I have mortgage originators that work for me and I have real estate agents work for me, till this day, no matter what, I will always go out there and I will always go ahead and do originate loans. That'll be something I'll do for the rest of my life. I am not too good for it. I'm not one of those guys that just sit at his desk and that's all I do, and that's why I do these videos, because I need you to understand what is available to you. Because let's just face it, some of the team doesn't like to do this, but we're going to go ahead and take care of it for you. But the biggest problem was they were like, okay, we need to put 20% down. 20% down is the staple which everybody is trying to get to, which they didn't understand that, you don't always need the 20% down. You could go to a lower one, keep a little bit more money in reserve, because we have one thing that has been a big crucial factor in home purchasing, is something that is so stupid, because everybody is overbidding, and overbidding is something that's called an appraisal gap. Because even though you're overbidding, you're like, okay, I have a few thousand here, I have a few thousand here, we could go up a little bit here, we could go up a little bit there. Now the appraisal gap comes in. Now, what is an appraisal gap? Appraisal gap is exactly how much money that you put in to the house which is the accepted offer on the house versus exactly how much the house is worth according to an appraiser. Now what we do is we send out our appraisal through the loan program. Now the loan program that we have, we send it out to something that's called an AMC. An AMC is a panel of appraisers. Then what happens is, since we're not allowed to have any contact with the appraisers until they go out there, your real estate agent could go out there or whoever it is, but we are not allowed to go ahead and have any direct contact with that appraiser. It has to go through the AMC, because if you remember, 2008 crash is because, well, let's just face it, a lot of real estate agents, brokers, just a lot of lenders, they were juicing these appraisers to go ahead and give them a little bit of a more inflated price than it would be if you were just to go get it any other way. So another thing is, where were most of these millennials looking for their homes? Now, majority of the millennials that were looking for their homes, which is actually 92%, let that sink into 92% of every single millennial that has purchased their home was also looking at their homes and found their homes by themselves on their own, whether on your realtor.coms or your Zillows, which is all online based, tech based. Everything was online, which 87% of all buyers actually just used an agent. After they bought a house, they're like, okay, so what do we do? Now that they found their house, what do we do? We're gonna go ahead and find ourselves an agent. So they go ahead and Google whatever agent is close to them, and then they go ahead and purchase the house accordingly. Now, as far as down payment is concerned, where did most of these millennials actually get their down payments from? So in the course of this whole entire pandemic thing, majority of millennials, a lot of millennials were at that point where they were working from home. Okay, so 27% of them went and said that the down payment was the most challenging thing. So what did they do? They went ahead and started living with their parents because, well, when the pandemic thing hit, everybody was trying to, you know, they were segregated, they weren't allowed to go out, and everybody knew the whole circus show that we were in. They were living with their parents, or they were living with friends, or they were living with some sort of family, and everybody was trying to save as much as they could. And they were and 1 out of 3 millennials that went ahead and purchased a home for their down payment said that they received gift funds from friends and families to go ahead and purchase their home, which is, you know, it's good that you have such good people that go ahead and help you purchase your home, that are allowing you to go ahead and sit with them and do all of this. But when you have assistant programs and grants and things like that for whatever career field that you work, like we have heroes programs for law enforcement, doctor program, physician program, nurse programs, all these other grant programs that you're able to qualify for, that is one of the other things that a lot of people did not explain to these millennials that were purchasing their homes to go ahead and utilize these things. So 60% of all millennials who purchased did not know of any grants, did not apply for any grants, and they went ahead and used gift funds to go ahead and get majority of their house, and that is 1 in every 3. Now here is one of the parts that really bother me, and the part that bothers me is because, you know, whenever you have new home buyers, when you have people that are uninformed, when you have people that aren't in the business of real estate like myself in the lending side or the real estate side, this is something by Jessica Lutz, which is the National Association of Realtors Vice President of Demographics and Behavioral Insights. She stated that while most home buyers in the millennial era, they went ahead and used tech tools to go ahead and purchase or to find the property that they want, they also use real estate agents at much higher rates than other buyers to help find the right home and negotiate in terms of the transaction. But why would you have to do that? It doesn't make any sense. And also, here's another thing, accounting for a lot of new home builds, which is at 32%, 32% of new home buyers, millennials that went ahead and purchased homes, were required to go ahead and use lenders from the home builders because they felt that they were required, which is actually a violation of rest, but you have the choice to choose whoever you want. You can't make somebody use a lender that they don't want to use, because you're supposed to be able to shop around. You're supposed to be able to shop around for title. You're supposed to be able to shop around for escrow. You're supposed to be able to shop around for your lender to make sure that you're in the best financial position that you could possibly be. And if they are making you do it, well, forget it. Who cares? You know what? Just, that's fine. You want to go ahead and make me do that? This is where, you know, you have a little bit of coaching to help you out. if you are actually going to violate RESPA and you are going to make me do this, no problem. Go ahead and take the highest rate that they could possibly give you, get the most amount of tax credits, and as soon as you get into that house, refinance right out of it, and then you could go ahead and get the same rate when you utilize whatever credits that they're giving you when you're utilizing the higher rate. So just because you're okay, they're going to give me 3.875 or 4 point whatever, and this is, I'm not talking about now because now we're almost into the fives, but okay, they're going to give me X, Y, and Z. Well, forget it. That's fine. You want to go ahead and make me use those people, even though I could probably get a better rate somewhere else? Yeah, no worries. Go ahead and give me a higher rate. And then once your rate goes a little bit higher, and I know in your mind you're probably like, oh my God, why would I take a higher rate? What is this guy talking about? Well, whenever you take a higher rate, what you do is you go ahead and get credit because you're taking a higher rate. Because what it is, you're just hedging the interest rate, right? You're doing a lower risk rate because they're already at a higher rate. So it's you're not taking at the going rate. So you're going to go ahead and get the credit back on the higher rate. Then as soon as you get that money in your pocket, because let's say for instance you're at, for the sake of argument, you were at 3.5%, right? You were at 3.5%, and that was even money. You weren't going to pay anything and you weren't going to lose anything. That's the rate that you were going to go ahead and get. Well, if you took 4.25%, you could possibly get like another $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 back. Cool, you got $10,000 back in your pocket. Then right afterwards, right after you're done, you already pocketed that $10,000. Just refinance out of it because hell, they did something that they weren't supposed to do anyway. So capitalize on it, take your 10 grand, and then go ahead and refinance that with whoever you want to, your Bank of America. If it's me, you could do it with me, or any lender of your choosing. It doesn't matter who you choose. It's whoever you feel comfortable with and whoever you choose. But to make somebody use a specific person and just use somebody that you have no choice but to use, that in the world of real estate is absolutely wrong. You shouldn't do that, and yeah. Well, hopefully this video helped out exactly what's going on, but there was one part of this that I didn't know, and since I am a foot soldier, I am one of the guys that are in the trenches and the guy that actually does things. So even though millennials account for about 43% of all home purchases, and then another smaller percentage are baby boomers because they were selling and they were moving from one place to another place wherever they're selling. Texas has been a really big hot spot. Arizona's been a hot spot. People are trying to buy lower price homes because, let's just face it, California, where I'm at right now, is very, very expensive. It's just a little bit too much. The other percentage of people who are purchasing all of these homes are actually real estate investment trusts, real estate investors, that they're going ahead and buying a whole bunch of these properties and they're holding on to them. They're holding on to them to build their portfolio. So there's a large chunk of percentage that is held there. The exact percentage, I don't know, but I can tell you firsthand that a lot of my business, more than half of my business, was actually through investors holding these, through these real estate investment trusts, where we're hooking them up. So, well, if you like the content, and if you liked and you want to see more of all of this, and for up to 50% commission rebate, because hey, that's the point of this video, to go ahead and make sure that you make a better financial decision afterwards when your next home purchase or you're selling it, and for 0% listing on selling your current home or any mortgaging assistance, link in the description below. Appreciate you guys watching. Until next video, see you guys later. Peace.